Okay, so I am doing this video to raise awareness, try and help or force other people that maybe don't want to talk about stuff or are a little bit shy about talking about stuff, to try and get them to go to the doctor. Now, this might come as a bit of a shock to some of you, especially those that are on my YouTube. I'm going to try and share this as much as I possibly can, so the Facebook guys will probably know what's about to come. So let's start from the beginning. So basically, about a month ago or so, my beautiful Emma, we were in bed, we were watching a film. You know how it is, a bit of Netflix and chill. And she decided to have a fondle of my testicles. I mean, why wouldn't she, right? While she was having a little fondle, she felt as though my left testicle was bigger than my right. So I was like, oh, have a little look at that. Went down there, had a little feel, like, you're right. Like twice the size almost. So with that, I thought, and Emma pushed me, to go and get a doctor's appointment, which I eventually got on the 23rd of January this year. That's 2020, just in case you're watching this like 3 years in advance, because let's be fair, we don't know. But yeah, so 23rd of January 2020, went and saw the doctor, literally for a swollen testicle is what I went in there for. While I was in there, he had a little check of my left testicle, and he said what it might be is, I can't remember the exact name that he used. I've tried Googling it, and apologise, I can't tell you what it is, but it's basically a cyst that fills up with water, then basically depletes over time and goes away. Nothing serious, all good, and basically unless it got like the size of a tennis ball, he said they won't do anything for you. What he said is, we'll throw you for a scan just in case, and we'll go from there. And I was like, yeah, all right, no problem, brilliant. As I thought, everything's good. Told them, you know, this is what they've said. Go and have a scan, just get checked out. And we're like, all right, yeah, there's no harm in that. So yeah, on the 6th of February, I got my scan date. I think it was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
10 past 2.
10 past 2 in the afternoon. I had my initial ultra scan. So yeah, went in there, light-hearted. Just thought, yeah, he's going to just tell me it's this cyst thing on my left nut, and all is going to be okay. I can't remember the doctor's name. Not that I probably shouldn't name and shame people, just in case of slander, right?
That's us.
Danny.
Different story.
That's one for another day. Yeah, so the initial guy, basically he started on my right testicle. Obviously I presumed, you know, standard procedure, they're going to scan both the nuts, so, you know, no harm done. So he's scanning away on my right testicle. I mean, he's there for some time. Nothing worrying at this point. Like, I'm laid there with my nuts out with a bit of gel on, which is very cold, I might add. And yeah, he's there for quite some time scanning my right testicle. At which point he turned around to me and said, "It's very good that you have come in and got this checked out." Instantly at this point, I am now like, right, you're on the wrong nut. So I thought nothing of it to a certain degree. I started almost tweaking in my head. He then also said, like, how did you come across this? How did you think your left testicle was swollen? I told him the story. He tried to make a light-hearted joke and was like, oh, so what was you doing at the point of Emma touching your balls? And I mean, Jill, she never touches my balls. So yeah, he said, I basically said, well, you know how it is, Doc, you know, man's got to get some loving, woman's got to get some loving. So again, I'm one of these people that reads between the lines, sometimes horrendously, but sometimes very well. And I'm starting to think, this guy is now trying to make a light-hearted mood of a situation that I feel could be quite serious. Still, I went along with my scan. He then moved on to the left testicle, and spent about half the time on my left testicle, which I thought was a bit odd. And then he finished up and said, okay, so there isn't any fluid around the left testicle, so this cyst that the GP initially thought it wasn't that. There was no fluid at all on the left testicle. He said, however, your right testicle is shrinking. Well, instantly I'm like, right, okay. Still not being told anything, so by this point a little bit worried, what with like his little indications that there's a problem. And then he said, oh, just clear yourself up. I'm like, yeah, I'll do that, because I'm not gonna have gel in my pants all day. So sorted myself out, sat on the edge of the bed, and he turned around to me and said, right, how easy is it to get hold of your GP today? I mean, we're talking now, it's like 3 o'clock, and I'm like, well, what do you mean? And he was like, well, you need to speak to your GP today. I was like, right, okay. Well, what if I can't? And he said, no, it is imperative that you speak to your GP today and get referred to Torbay Hospital. At this point, I am shitting myself, for want of a better word. Obviously, I'm sure that everybody has heard stories of, oh, you must speak to your GP, and that generally only means one thing. So I was like, still fairly lighthearted, like, right, okay, well, when do you want me to do this? What shall I do? He's like, right, well, you need to ring your GP. I'll get this report sent over to them in 15 minutes. Now, I know doctors just like anybody, and nothing moves within 15 minutes. So you can imagine, right, now what's going through my head. In fact, I'm going to tell you, I was confused because I thought I was going in for a standard scan. I was scared. Yeah, that's right. Chewy gets scared just as much as anyone. And also extremely shocked. Like, I cannot tell you how I felt in a sense of like my body. I just did not know what to do with myself. Obviously, at this point, I'm still unaware of what's going on. All I know is we have a serious problem. That is literally all I knew, is this is a serious problem because of obviously what the guy was telling me. So I said, right, I'll get back to Newton, because I'm gonna head over to my girlfriend's now as I've finished work, and I'll ring my GP from there. So yeah, that's what I did. I went straight over to, well, as I left, just for another one, yeah, if you want any indications, guys. Oh, cameraman funny. If you want any indications, guys, yeah, he shook my hand on my way out and said, good luck with everything.
It's bad.
Honestly, I don't know what that meant. Like, I don't know what that meant. I don't know what he was getting at. All I knew is, okay, there's a problem here, right? So I tried to keep as much of a level head as possible. Went out to the car park, tried ringing my mum to get the GP's number, because like most blokes, who has their GP's number in their mobile phone, right? Yeah, I said blokes. You're not a bloke. That's, it's obvious that you're not a bloke. That's why we got to this situation. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how many of you guys do have your GP's numbers in your phone.
Put it in your phone.
But it might be worth sticking it in there. I'm actually giving you something here. I'm calling you and say I've not got my GP's number in the phone still. But get it in there, because you never know when you might need it. So anyway, I had to ring my mummy, because I didn't have my GP's number. I got my GP's number sent over, rung Em and said, Em, I don't know what's going on here, but there's a problem. I'll be over in a minute, and I've got to ring my GP. So with that, in my car, over to Newton. When I got here, rung the GP, receptionist answered. Damn lucky I can't name and shame this lady. But yeah, spoke to her, and she said, oh, are you just looking for routine results, Mr. O'Shea? No. I've literally just had a scan, and the guy who scanned me has said it is imperative Did you speak to a GP today? Oh, I can tell that you've been really shocked. But the results don't come through that quickly. Right. I am telling you, I'm not shocked. What I'm telling you is what I've been told. Yeah? So he said to me that he was going to get these results over to you within 15 minutes, and I need to speak to a GP. Okay, well, I'll call you back in as soon as I speak to the lady who gets all the documentation sent over. Okay. Put the phone down, turned to M, and I was like, M, I'm telling you now, the way that he was in that ultrascan room, I am not going to get a phone call back from that receptionist. I'm going to get a phone call back from the GP. About an hour later, so I think it was about 4 o'clock now. So about 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Thursday, the 6th of February, GP rings me and says, is that Mr. O'Shea? Yeah, it's Mr. O'Shea. We are going to refer you to Torbay Hospital. Is that okay? Yeah. Is there anything else I need to do? No. You'll receive a letter within 2 weeks to have another scan. Okay. And what if I don't receive this letter within 2 weeks? He said, if you don't receive it by the end of this week, make sure you ring us back and we'll push it forward. Right, okay. Is there anything else I need to do? No, there's nothing else you need to do. Right, okay. Whoop, phone down. So at this point, I am still completely unaware of what the fuck's going on. Right? So now, obviously, the mind starts playing games. We try looking into what it could be. And what we think it might be. So there was probably like 3 things that we narrowed it down to. One was called apathy atrophy, which is quite a common thing in men, whereby like a testicle shrinks, but it's usually due to trauma. So there's nothing wrong with it or bad with it. It basically will shrink, and then sometimes it will come back up, sometimes it doesn't, but there's nothing wrong. The other one we thought was possibly a twisted or strangulated testicle, whereby I would have thought that I'd have been in a lot of pain, and I'm not. I'm uncomfortable, but I'm not in pain. So we kind of ruled that one out, although it was a possibility. So we left it up there in the possibility section, and the third one being cancer. So for a week, yeah, it was about a week, I received the letter. No, sorry.
No, you didn't.
It was 2 days later, I received the letter for my hospital appointment. So I saw them on the Thursday to have the scan. I rang my GP on the Thursday. They referred me to Torbay Hospital on the Thursday. They sent the letter out on the 7th. It was a Friday, dated the 7th. And I had the scan in for the following Monday, so the 17th.
Scan.
Sorry, consultation. But that's why she's here. Head's still a little bit fried, yeah? Yeah, I mean? So yeah, it was a consultation, but as far as we were concerned from like the scan initially, I thought I was going for another scan. We thought that I was getting re-scanned, didn't we?
They were going to investigate that.
Yeah,
it did even say in the letter that possibly be an action.
Yeah.
Obviously with what you do, it can.
Yeah, so basically the letter itself, yeah, got it here, haven't we? Like, obviously this is not to scare people. This is literally, I just want to raise awareness more than anything, because I feel as though I need to. Okay, so the initial letter basically was giving me my consultation orthopedic specialist, even. I'm not going to name him just in case, but it was with the urology section, and it was basically to rule out, is their wording, to rule out cancer. So that's what they stated, that it was to rule out cancer. So at this point now, I'm sort of now coming to the conclusion, okay, they've obviously found something, because I've still not been told anything at this point. They've obviously found something. It's obviously quite severe. It's looking very, very much like it's going to be cancer. So from that point, we wait until the following Monday, so not the Monday after, but the week, Monday week, 17th of February. Blink and you'll miss what's going on here with the dates, guys. I'm telling you now. 17th, so the Monday, literally this Monday just gone. Obviously, if you're watching this 4 years in advance, it isn't the Monday just gone. It was like 4 years. Yeah, Monday just gone 4 years ago.
Not in advance. 4 years later.
Fuck. You're watching this in advance. If you're watching this after this date, this was the Monday before 4 years ago.
What are you, Back to the Future? You can do it in advance.
You get me?
I live with
it. So yeah. Again, we are under no circumstance at the moment ruling anything. Yeah. So we go to this appointment. Em comes with me, and we get in there and we see the nutty professor.
That's the best way.
The best way to describe him is a nutty professor.
Very funny looking guy. Amazing.
A brilliant guy, yeah, absolutely brilliant. So he's basically a really tall. He's a Polish guy, really really tall, slick back hair to about here.
The most amazing hair.
And then like the rest of it was like out here of like almost like dread looking hair, big old glasses, and like this unbelievable conker nose that you've ever seen. Unusual looking guy, but brilliant. Yeah, so we both walked in, both sat down, and he said, right, in his Polish accent, I'm not going to try and offend anybody, all right, but he said, right, you're going to have an operation to have your testicle off. What? Why? And he was like, he could see at this point that both me and Em are thrown. Like, we are completely and utterly thrown. We didn't really know why. So he literally turns around and goes, how much do you actually know about this? And we were like, well, that we were coming here like to be like reassessed, basically. Like someone to have another look at what's going on. Like, that's literally it. I don't know what. I said, all I know is from what the letter has told me, and that is to rule out cancer. And for want of a better word, he turned the screen to us and basically said, well, this is what's going on. Which he basically, for want of a better word, just turned around and said, this is cancer. They won't know 100% until the testicle's out. But as far as the screen is concerned,
it's how it read.
And the size and the size of the mass and how the mass was. So obviously we've gone from a cyst to cancer, and that was this Monday just gone, the 17th. So he shoved me on the bed. Out comes Mr. Wilbur Jenkins and his two friends. And he had a look at the right-hand side. He couldn't actually feel anything. But I think it's probably... I don't know whether it's moving around or what, because I feel as though like, I might have found it since he's checked me. But he couldn't find it. But so with that, he was a little confused. And at this point, we sit back. I mean, he really hurt me, by the way. Like, I've not had too much pain with it. I've been uncomfortable. I felt like slightly heavy down there at times. I've had a bit of bad back, but obviously, as we all know, I mean, you're watching me on Chewy the Hairy Face Gamer. I play a lot of games. And I'm a little bit old. A couple of other telltale signs that I've had is my groin at times, the glands in my groin have been up a little. In fact, they're starting to flare up a little bit at the moment. I don't know whether that's because he's had a good old grope of them or what, but headaches is another one that I've been getting. So apart from things like that, like, you know, things that you'd probably just think are just standard everyday life telltale signs of getting old, because I'm 34. You wouldn't have I wouldn't have said that I'm unwell, or I wouldn't have said that I've got any telltale signs to tell me any different, that there's something else going on inside me. So
it's common.
Yeah, it's very common. So yeah, I was a bit... We were very taken back at this point. obviously my head is now all over the shop. I'm not thinking straight, not really taking in everything. Because I'm shaking like a leaf. I've got to be honest. It's like, when someone turns around and says, because when he says he can't find it, we were like, well, is it anything else it could be? And he goes back to his screen, points at his screen, and he told M some random story about, who was it about?
Well, I think he said Lancelot. If anyone knows who that is, because I didn't.
Lancelot. It's the Knight of the Round Table.
He has something to do with his brain.
I don't know anything about his brain, but something about Lancelot told us some random
4 titles of some cycling shit. I don't know.
Not really
I
sure.
didn't listen.
Not really sure where he was going with it, but basically, like,
trying to lighten.
Yeah, when he got back to it, he basically turned his screen again, and he was like, all these indications. He basically shrugged off any other issue apart from cancer, so he couldn't give me 100% certainty that it is. And we still obviously right now don't know 100%, but he's saying from the description of what he's got from that initial scan that it is cancer as far as he's concerned, and that's what I'm being treated for. So basically that's where I'm at right now. I will keep this updated. Why not? If for nothing else, you guys can follow me on my journey. I've got Em following me on my journey. I've got all my family following on my journey. And my work has been absolutely brilliant. So they're fully on board as well. So where I'm at right now, guys, is I have got an operation booked to get the testicle out, which is booked for Friday the 21st. So that's this Friday. So we're going to have a few videos, hopefully, of the healing process and how I'm feeling.
Not actual.
What, of my penis?
You're going to put balls online.
I can't. YouTube will have something to say about that. And probably Facebook. Well, no, it's a little secret package, isn't it? Yeah. It's like nuclear weapons. No one sees them, but they know they're there. But I've got my operation Friday. I'm waiting on a CT scan. Not sure when that's going to be just yet. But I will keep you updated. If I find anything else out, I'll be sure to, even if it's just a quick video, just to throw it out there. Obviously, if you want to keep up to date, by all means, hit the subscribe button. This isn't really for that. I'm not really bothered if you do subscribe or not. I don't really care if you like the video. This isn't for that. This is for me to express. I mean, I am putting on an extremely brave face, and I have been okay. Like, I am okay mentally. I think the realization is setting in. But in general, I'm okay. This isn't me looking for like sympathy. It's not a cry for help. It's more, all I can say is, and I will leave a link down below, is if I can just get, say 30 of you watch this and you're male, just check your nuts. And if I can get 30 of you to check your nuts and one of you feels like there's some sort of irregularity down there and you book a GP's appointment because you've watched this video and you turn out to be absolutely fucking fine, then I feel as though this video and this, what I will call a vlog, I will carry this on until I guess I'm better. Then I feel as though this video would have served its purpose. So I want to just make sure that, like, and the reason I say that is because I have had no idea throughout my whole manhood of how to check my nuts for irregularities. Like, it's not something I know that a lot of guys that I've spoke to that are younger, it's something they get taught now, or at least pushed on them, like through school, because the general age gap of testicular cancer is between 16 and 35. So I'm actually at the very, very top scale for having it. So I think that a lot of younger guys do tend to apparently check their nuts. So the younger guys that I've spoke to do it, but I know that myself, I've never done it. I'm sure people around my age probably don't do it. They probably wouldn't even know what they're looking for. I wouldn't have known. I wouldn't have had a clue. It's only because obviously I had a difference in size that is quite obvious. With that in mind, also, don't hold off. If you have an issue, go and see them. I know it's embarrassing. I mean, I'm probably one of the most modest guys when it comes to downstairs, because I mean, I've got a Wilbur Jenkins, like a baby's arm holding an apple. You know, it's massive. So I don't care about getting my. But even if you have a tiny peni, well, they might have. That might be why they're embarrassed to go. You don't know, do you? So just go. Just go and get checked out. If there's any sort of irregularities, and not just with your nuts, anything. If you've got any issues, right? Because I'm one of those people that has always said, it never happened to me. I'm fairly young. In some people's eyes, I'm not. But I am fairly young. I'm relatively fit. I play football 3 times a week. I don't drink. I do, and I am quite partial to the odd cigarette every now and again. But I'm a pretty fit guy for my age. I've always been one of those. Won't happen to me. I won't get cancer. And if you are one of those guys, and you've got an odd irregularity somewhere in your body, honestly, just go and get it checked out. I can't stress it enough. Just go and get it checked out, because I am one of you. If it wasn't for Emma, I honestly can say, hand on my heart, that I would not be at this stage right now, because I would not have noticed. I wouldn't have checked, because I've never checked. I wouldn't have noticed. So if your missus is saying, oh, this is odd, just go and get it checked out. Like, you're not wasting their time if there's a potential problem. And in my case, I thought I was wasting their time, and it turns out that I massively wasn't. So, if nothing else, I just want this video to like raise awareness. Just get it in your head, guys, that you're not infallible, you're not inhuman. No matter how big, small you are, cancer will grab any of you, blatantly. Also, the only other thing I can say is share the shit out of this video, because if just one guy goes, just share it. If we can get a few guys that just go to their GP and say, look, can you just check us over? I feel like this is a bit odd, or this is a bit odd, or this is a bit odd, whatever. If I can get this one guy that goes because they've watched this video, then I feel as though it's serving its purpose. With that in mind, this video right now, this entry, so entry number 1, the start of the fucking shit journey, potentially, is done. But please, all I can say is just share the shit out of this video. Please, let's get as many of you aware as possible. Don't be embarrassed. Just go and do it. I'll leave you on that note, and I'll update you as soon as I'm updated. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Please just share the shit out of this.